wearing my wireless headphones, if you know me or you've watched me for a while, you know I wear these clinky old school headphones. I actually just had to get a pair today because I left the others in the driveway at my son's house and they were ran over. So I had to get a new pair today. They're only $20, and the reason that I've worn these for the past few years is there was some data that came out a few years ago talking about how the wireless headphones affected the brain, and there were negative aspects to wearing those headphones. And we always hear about EMFs and like electromagnetic field and how things affect the brain, the 5G, yada yada. But there was some data that came out suggesting that, and so I was like, I'm just going to wear these. So, gosh, it is raining here, and the wind is literally like blowing in my car. I just came out of Walmart. So, I got these, and the new 17 does not have a spot for these. I need a new phone, and there were a couple of studies that came out pounding down even more on how the wireless headphones affect your brain in a negative way. So I'm just going to stick to the old school wired headphones. And honestly, the AirPods, I love those. I wore them for a long time until I read that research, and I was like, I'm not going to wear these anymore. But I did love them because you're hands-free and you don't have to have anything connected to your phone. These like sometimes jerk out of my ear. They can be a pain, but I'll be inconvenienced to protect my brain. So the more you know. Health is wealth, always 100%, and your brain is a huge part of your health. So just thought you should know about that. And look at the studies for yourself if you have questions. Again, now we live in a time where like everybody has access to the information, no matter what your choices are about anything pertaining to your health or anything in life really. But we all have a plethora of information at our fingertips, literally. I mean, who doesn't have a phone with internet? Very few people do not have that. So we all have access to the same information. What you choose to do with that information is up to you. But I would encourage you to be open-minded and to be able to change your mind as new data comes out and we learn we were doing it this way and that was actually wrong. If you look back in medicine, I have a master's in health science and a bachelor's in health science. I have done medical research. I'm certified to do medical research. I'm part of a published study that's coming out this year. We have access to a tremendous amount of data. It is hard sometimes to break the data down and decipher if you don't know what you're looking at, but ask for help. Or go online and don't just listen to one person spell out the same things all the time. Don't rely on me for your health advice, like as the only resource. Listen to a lot of people, get the pros and cons of different ones, and then make a decision. And if they show you a study, go look at it for yourself. Sometimes, unless you pay, you won't have access to certain studies, but there's enough out there, there's enough free studies. You can read the abstract. At least if you read the abstract, and then you can go to like if you can look at the biases in the study or the conflicts of interest, like if I'm making a red light therapy and then I do a study and I pay for the study or I'm involved in the study or research on the study in red light therapy, then that's a bias because I sell red light therapy. Do you see what I'm saying? So if I come out with a new pharmaceutical drug that cures moodiness, and I do a research paper on moodiness and how my specific drug helps moodiness, then that's bias because I'm talking about the problem and I have the solution and I sell the solution. And when you buy the solution, I make money from the solution. You see what I'm saying? So that's why biases are important. And also, when you look at a study, if it can be repeated over and over and over and get the same result, then that's when we know we can trust what's there. If we consistently do the same thing over and over and we get the same result, if we cannot duplicate a study, then it doesn't carry as much weight. It just doesn't carry as much weight. So keep that in mind. Look at the data for yourself. Go back to your little cordless headphones if you want to protect your brain health. It's an inconvenience that's definitely worth it. Anywho, love you guys. Happy Sunday. Bye.